Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we're diving into something that can make a big difference in how your car runs, the throttle position sensor, or TPS for short. Now, if you've ever noticed your car idling rough, hesitating when you step on the gas, or even getting poor fuel mileage, there's a good chance your throttle position sensor needs a reset. The TPS basically tells your car's computer how far open the throttle is, in other words, how much air is going into the engine. If it's out of sync, your car can get confused, and that's when you start having those annoying performance issues, or even a check engine light. The good news is, resetting the TPS is something you can actually do yourself at home without needing to head straight to a mechanic. Before we jump in, let's quickly talk about what you'll need for this job. Don't worry, it's not a long list. You'll want a simple screwdriver set, a multimeter if you'd like to test the sensor readings, and if you have one, an OBD2 scanner to check or clear codes. And of course, a pair of safety gloves, because we'll be working under the hood. Before we get our hands dirty, let's talk about safety and prep. This step is really important, and it'll save you headaches down the road. First things first, make sure your car is parked on a flat, level surface. Put the transmission in park if it's an automatic, or in first gear if it's a manual. And don't forget to pull that parking brake. We want the car nice and steady while we're working. Next up, we're going to disconnect the battery. Always start with the negative terminal first, that's the one usually marked with a minus sign or a black cable. Just loosen the clamp with your wrench and set the cable aside so it's not touching anything metal. Now, why are we doing this? 2 reasons. 1. It prevents any accidental short circuits while you're unplugging the throttle position sensor. 2. It clears out the car's ECU memory, which is basically the car's brain. That way, when we reset the TPS later, the ECU is ready to relearn the proper throttle settings. Quick tip, if you're worried about losing your radio presets or any saved ECU data, you can use what's called a memory saver. Or at the very least, keep a clean rag handy. You can wrap it around the disconnected terminal to make sure it doesn't accidentally make contact while you're working. Once the battery is safely disconnected, we're ready to move under the hood and find the throttle position sensor. Locating the TPS. With the battery disconnected, let's go ahead and locate the throttle position sensor. Now, the TPS is always connected to the throttle body, because its job is to read the exact angle of the throttle plate as you press the gas pedal. On most cars, you'll find the throttle body right here where the air intake hose connects to the engine. If you look closely, you'll see a small sensor mounted on the side of the throttle shaft. That right there is the throttle position sensor. It usually has a small electrical connector clipped into it, and it's held in place by 2 little screws or bolts. Now, there are actually 2 main setups you might see. On cable-driven systems, you'll notice a physical cable, usually coming straight from the gas pedal, that pulls on the throttle plate when you press the pedal. In that case, the TPS is sitting right next to that cable connection. On newer drive-by-wire systems, there's no cable at all. Everything is electronic, so you'll see just the throttle body with a sensor and a motor built in. The TPS is still there, but it's part of the electronic throttle control. Every vehicle is a little different, so if you're not 100% sure, check your service manual or even do a quick search for your car's make and model along with TPS location. That'll confirm exactly where to find it. Once you've spotted it, we can move on to unplugging and, if necessary, removing the sensor. Okay, now that we've located the throttle position sensor, let's take a closer look at how to remove it, if you need to. The first step is to carefully disconnect the electrical connector. There's usually a little plastic clip that locks it in place. Press down gently on the tab with your thumb or a small flathead screwdriver, and then slide the connector straight back. Don't force it, because these clips can get brittle over time and break. Now, in most cases, you actually don't need to take the TPS completely off just to do a reset. The reset procedure we'll be doing later only requires the sensor to stay in place. But I want to quickly show you how it comes out in case you're replacing it, or if you just want to clean around that area. The TPS is normally held in by 2 small screws or bolts. Grab the right size screwdriver or socket and loosen them carefully. Take your time here, these screws are easy to strip because they're often soft metal. Here's a big caution for you, whatever you do, don't drop the screws down into the intake manifold. If one falls inside, it can cause serious engine damage. A little trick I like to use is keeping a rag stuffed just below the throttle body opening while I work, just in case. Once the screws are out, you can gently twist the sensor and pull it away from the throttle shaft. And there you go, that's the TPS removed. Again, for just a reset, you can leave it bolted in. But now you know how to take it off safely if needed. Basic reset method. Alright, now let's go through the most common and straightforward way to reset your throttle position sensor, the basic battery reset method. Remember earlier we disconnected the battery? That gave the car's ECU, or engine control unit, a chance to clear out its memory. Now we're going to reconnect it and walk through the steps that help the ECU relearn the correct throttle range. Step 1, with the TPS still bolted in and plugged in, go ahead and reconnect your negative battery terminal. Make sure it's nice and snug so you don't have any loose connections. Once the battery is hooked back up, hop inside the car. Insert your key into the ignition and turn it to the on position, but don't start the engine yet. All we want is for the dash lights to come on. Now here's the important part, take your foot and slowly press the accelerator pedal all the way down to the floor. Don't jab it, just ease into it smoothly. Hold it there for about 5 seconds. Then, just as slowly, release the pedal all the way back up. After that, turn the key back to the OFF position. That completes one cycle. Go ahead and repeat that same process 2 or 3 times. What this does is teach the ECU where the closed throttle position is, that's with your foot completely off the pedal, and where the wide open throttle position is, when your foot's to the floor. By repeating it, you're basically giving the car a clean reference point so it knows exactly how much air to expect at any pedal angle. This simple reset alone fixes a lot of rough idle, hesitation, and poor throttle response issues, especially after cleaning the throttle body or replacing the TPS. Some vehicles require what's called an ECU relearn procedure, sometimes also known as the pedal dance. This is especially common on certain Nissans, Mitsubishis, and a few other makes. Don't worry if the exact timing feels tricky at first, I'll walk you through it step by step. Step 1, insert the key and turn it to the on position. Leave it there for about 2 seconds. Step 2, turn the key back to off and wait for about 10 seconds. Step 3, turn the key back to on for 2 more seconds. This time, within 5 seconds, quickly press and release the accelerator pedal 5 times. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all within 5 seconds. Step 4, now wait for about 7 seconds. After that pause, press the accelerator pedal all the way down to the floor and hold it there. Keep holding until the check engine light begins to blink. Step 5, once you see that blinking, release the pedal. Then, go ahead and start the engine. If you've done it correctly, the ECU has now relearned the idle and throttle position settings. The idle speed should stabilize within a few seconds, and you'll notice smoother throttle response. Now, I want to make something really clear, not every car uses this exact sequence. Each manufacturer may have their own timing and steps. So before you try this, double-check your owner's manual or look up your car's specific procedure online. But this version is one of the most common and gives you a good idea of how the process works. Using OBD2 scanner. Okay, now let's take a look at another option, using an OBD2 scanner. If you've got one of these tools, the reset process can be even quicker and more precise. First, locate your car's OBD2 port. On most vehicles, it's right under the dashboard on the driver's side, usually just above the pedals. Plug your scanner into the port and then turn the ignition key to the on position without starting the engine. Once the scanner powers up, navigate through the menu and look for stored fault codes. If your throttle position sensor has been giving you trouble, you might see codes like P0120, P0121, P0122, or P0123. These all point to TPS-related issues. From here, most scanners will give you the option to clear those codes. Go ahead and do that. This doesn't just erase the check engine light, it also helps the ECU start fresh, so when we reset the throttle, it learns the new positions cleanly. Some scanners, especially the more advanced ones, even have a dedicated option for throttle relearn or idle relearn. If you see that on your tool, use it. That runs an automated sequence to reset the TPS electronically, no pedal dance required. This method is especially handy if you're dealing with a modern drive-by-wire system, since those rely entirely on electronic signals. So, whether you're just clearing codes or running a full relearn, the OBD2 scanner is a powerful tool to have. If you don't own one, many auto parts stores will actually scan your car for free, so that's another option to consider. Now that we've gone through the reset, it's time to put everything to the test and make sure the throttle position sensor is working the way it should. First, start up the engine and just let it idle for a minute. Listen closely, the idle should be steady, not bouncing up and down or stalling out. If you notice it revving up and down like it's hunting for the right spot, that could mean the reset didn't quite stick, and we may need to try again. Next, give the accelerator a gentle press. We're not flooring it here, just a light push. Watch the RPMs climb smoothly, then release the pedal and make sure the RPMs come back down to idle without dipping too low or cutting off. That smooth response is exactly what we're looking for. Now, if you've got a multimeter handy and you want to double-check the TPS readings, here's how. With the ignition on and the engine off, backprobe the signal wire at the TPS connector. At closed throttle, you should see somewhere around half a volt, usually about 0.5 volts. As you slowly press the pedal to the floor, that should climb smoothly up to about 4.5 volts at wide open throttle. No sudden jumps, no dead spots, just a nice, even rise. If those numbers look good, and the engine is idling and revving smoothly, congratulations, your TPS reset was successful. You've just taught your ECU exactly where closed throttle and wide open throttle are, and that means better drivability, smoother acceleration, and often even better fuel economy. So what if you've gone through the reset and things still don't feel quite right? Let's talk about some troubleshooting tips. First, if your idle is still rough or the check engine light keeps coming back, don't immediately assume the TPS is bad. A lot of times, the problem is actually a vacuum leak. Check your hoses around the intake manifold. If any are cracked or loose, they'll let unmetered air in and throw off your idle. Second, a dirty throttle body can cause the same symptoms. Carbon buildup around the throttle plate can prevent it from closing properly, and that confuses the TPS reading. A quick cleaning with throttle body cleaner can make a world of difference. Third, inspect the wiring and connectors going to the TPS. Corroded pins, frayed wires, or a loose plug can all give false signals to the ECU. Sometimes it's as simple as reseating the connector or cleaning the contacts. If you've checked all that and the problem is still there, the TPS itself may actually be worn out. In that case, replacement is the way to go, and don't worry, as we showed earlier, swapping it out is a pretty simple job. And here's another important point, some vehicles, especially certain GM, BMW, or high-end models, may require dealer-level software to perform the relearn. If that's the case, you can do everything we covered here, but the ECU won't accept the new settings until it's told to through the scan tool. So, start with the basics, vacuum leaks, cleaning, wiring, and if all else fails, consider replacement or a professional scan tool reset. That way you're not throwing parts at the car without knowing what's really wrong. And that's it. You've just learned how to reset your throttle position sensor using 3 different methods: the simple battery reset, the advanced pedal procedure, and of course, the OBD2 scanner option. Getting this little sensor dialed in makes a huge difference. You'll notice smoother idling, better throttle response, and in some cases, even improved fuel economy. And the best part? You can do it yourself right at home with just a few basic tools. If this video helped you out, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more DIY car repair tips and step-by-step guides like this one. And hey, drop a comment below with your car's make and model. Let me know if you tried the reset and what kind of results you got. I'd love to hear your experience. Thanks so much for watching, drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one.